Welcome to Carolina Real Estate. Today we're at 300 Muirfield Drive in Heritage Plantation in Pawleys Island. And we're visiting with Chuck Larson, a sales associate with Coldwell banker Chicora, and the homeowner. Hello, Chuck.
Good to have you, Greg.
Great to be with you. I love your home and your this entire community. Heritage Plantation is magnificent.
Well, we're glad to have some people visit us down here in Pawleys Island.
Absolutely.
And Heritage, yeah.
A lot going on in Pawleys Island as we kick off the summer season, but year-round, just driving in this morning to see what all's going on here. It's an incredible area.
It is fantastic. My wife and I heard about this plantation from people in Chicago, where we were living, and we came down here and we drove down the Avenue of the Oaks, and I think it was such a comfortable feeling that we couldn't pass it up, even without even seeing any houses.
Son of a gun, is that right?
Yeah. Heritage Plantation is a really unique property, and it's really 600 acres that were formerly two rice plantations during the early 19th century.
Wow.
The True Blue and Midway plantations.
Okay.
And if you fast forward into another century, Larry Young and his development team determined that this has got to be the place for them. And they bought the property, and they initially built the golf course. Usually what will happen is a developer will build the homes and then figure out where the golf course is going to go. Well, this was just the opposite. And it made a world of difference because it's the spectacular scenery of Heritage is just to be seen. You have, like I mentioned, 600 acres of golf course and homes, 511 homes.
Wow.
With now 511 home sites with about 435 homes built now. So we're about 87% built out.
Right.
We still have some lots for sale. We have about the same number of homes for sale as we do lots, right around 21.
Right.
Ranging from homes, the garden homes, the patio homes, which are around a quarter acre, up to custom homes, which are about a half acre.
Okay.
And then the estate homes, which are 0.5, half acre, and more.
Right.
But I think what people really like about Heritage is the amenities on top of the beauty of the area. I think that I would like to mention that we have a beautiful clubhouse, you know, for the owners, which has a workout room in it. It has a billiard room. It has card rooms, a great gathering area.
Great.
Plus, adjacent to it is a 75-foot pool, which is used most of the year. It's heated, not all the year, but except for a couple months. Right. And right adjacent to the pool are 4 Hartrue clay tennis courts.
Wow.
So we've got the golfers covered, we've got the tennis players, and there are some that do both. But then there are all kinds of activities, including activities in the pool for exercising, and there's yoga and everything else that you can imagine. It's probably one of the most active communities in the Grand Strand. But besides the clubhouse, the community house, I would say probably the most unique feature about Heritage is it's bordered on the western end by the Intercoastal Waterway.
Aha.
And if you recall, the Intercoastal goes all the way from Florida up the East Coast to New York. Right. And what's unique about the Intercoastal here, it's one of the widest portions of the entire Intercoastal.
Is right around Heritage Plantation?
Right here in Heritage.
Wow.
Even more so than as you get down to Georgetown. So Heritage has a marina right here. The next marina down would be the city of Georgetown. The next marina up would be the Reserve, and then Waukee Wachee.
Right.
Near Wachesaw.
Near Wachesaw, right.
So what's nice about the marina is not only do we have wet slips, you know, for lots of boats, but we also have dry storage where people can keep their boats.
Great.
And there's a gathering deck that's just unbelievable because it's been added on to the point where we can easily accommodate 100 to 150 folks.
Son of
at
a
one
gun.
time.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, one of our biggest events of the year is our 4th of July party,
I bet.
where we honor our troops and honor America. And but I think the people that live here mostly go there because of the sunsets, and they take a cocktail and some cheese and go down and meet with friends and small groups or big groups or what have you, and it's just spectacular watching the sunset.
Absolutely, and a great walking community, a great golf cart community. I bet a heck of a lot of homeowners have golf carts, would head out there to the marina or head up to the clubhouse.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when you go down there in the evening, you'll see just about as many golf carts as you will vehicles, cars. Just a little bit about the golf course itself. It's one of the top, annually rated one of the top 100 golf courses in America.
Wow. By
Golf Digest magazine. And there's reasons why. It's just such a beautiful layout.
Right.
When Larry Young first looked into this, he said, I need a partner. And he found one in the golf architect Dan Maples.
Oh, yeah.
Who is really was a very well-known golf architect. And the two of them built a fantastic course by using the rolling terrain that was already here, the marshes, the ponds, and of course kept all the 350-year-old oaks, live oaks, with the pine trees, and of course the magnolias, and it's just, and of course the azaleas in the spring.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people consider Heritage right on a par with Caledonia, which is right on the other side of our north border, as the two most beautiful golf courses on the Strand.
Well, I can't speak about golf courses, and I mean, there are some magnificent courses, but I've heard that over and over about these two down here. Absolutely. I've sure heard a lot of wonderful accolades.
Yes, sir.
We've got about 8 minutes, Chuck, and I know y'all are having an open house this afternoon from 1 to 4, and there's a great opportunity for folks to come out and see the home live time. But for viewers who may not have a chance to get out here to see it today at the open house, would you be willing to give a little virtual tour to folks to get a feel of what the home's all about?
Greg, that's a great idea. I'd be happy to.
Okay.
Because we're very proud of our home. I have to say that it's a very typical quality low country style home.
Right.
As you notice, the front of the house, it has the 6 pillars.
Oh, yeah.
And a brick patio, front porch. The unique thing is, as you mentioned, this is our primary residence. And we found this lot, and then we didn't have to build right away, which worked out well for us because we were still working back in the Midwest.
Right.
But we did discover that we wanted to go with Classic Home builders out of Myrtle Beach as our builder. And I must say that the team of Susan and Berkeley and Kim White and their sales associate Carolyn Greaves was almost a seamless operation. It was just great. And you didn't even have cell phones in those days, but we did everything by fax and snail mail. But as you come in, what's nice about the homes that they built are the architectural details.
Oh, yes.
As you come in the front door and into the foyer, you'll see a fabulous high ceiling entryway that kind of catches your eye right off the bat, and you walk in, it's kind of a wow feeling, you know, that this is really something special that I've gotten into as a home.
Right.
And to its left is the formal dining room with a nice tray ceiling.
Right.
And it's a beautiful chandelier that was picked out by my wife, and it's just a real pleasurable place to entertain.
Truly.
And either formally or informally. To the right of the entryway of the foyer is a library, which is kind of my favorite room because it's where I can not only pay the bills but do a lot of reading and keeping up. I enjoy reading, and I had an extensive collection of books, so I had built-ins put in, and Susan and Berkeley took care of that for me.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous.
As you come into out of the library, you come into the great room, which is where we are seated today, which is
Fabulous
really
room.
the focal point of the entire home.
Truly.
Probably one of the great features about it is the 12-foot ceiling with the coffered ceiling look, which I had never even known what a coffered ceiling was until the Berkeley and Susan told me about it, and their touches are just architecturally just beautiful.
They are.
Because the home has all kinds of wainscoting and chair rails and beautiful fireplace architecture. It's just a real comfortable feel, this home.
It really is.
It's kind of a home for comfortable living.
Mm-hmm.
This fireplace, like I mentioned, we have Heritage is pretty much an all-electric community.
Mm-hmm.
With everything is underground as far as water and sewer and everything, and electric. But we wanted to have gas.
Right.
Dana in particular likes cooking with gas, so we've got a buried propane tank that takes care of the gas for the kitchen stove and the fireplace, and also for my grill out in the back.
Out on the back, sure.
And so that's a nice feature. Just to the right of the great room is one of the guest bedrooms. And the house has 2 guest bedrooms in addition to the master bedroom.
Right.
And what's nice about the layout is every bedroom has its own bath.
Oh, yeah.
There's no half baths, but there's full baths for every bedroom.
Right.
And then once you come from the guest bedroom and you come in across the great room, you have a little area that opens up into the master bedroom.
Right.
And the master bedroom is really special in that it's a pretty good oversized master bedroom.
It really is.
And the reason I say oversized is it features a bay window that overlooks the 16th tee
right
on
here
the golf
behind
course.
us. Yeah, right.
Okay. And it has a double tray ceiling, 2
Right.
trays, so it's really kind of spectacular. And of course, adjacent to that is the master bath.
Oh, yeah.
With a nice tile floor, and also a tray ceiling in there with a fan, and a garden tub, and his and her walk-in closets,
yeah,
and a shower.
Closets. Right.
And so that is a really special part of the home is
Truly.
the master.
Oh, yeah.
When you come out of the master and cross again through the great room,
Right.
you come to a little breakfast area,
Right.
a kind of a casual eating area, which is right off of the porch, which goes out on the deck. On the outside, we have a porch that almost goes with brick. That almost goes the entire back of the house.
Right.
And when the house was first built, we were not going to enclose it, but we decided to enclose it with a screen porch, and it's made all the difference in the world in terms of pretty much a year-round living.
Right.
Plus, there's an entry to the porch right off of the master bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
The kitchen itself, I've mentioned the gas stove, which is a unique feature.
Right.
The cabinets are really incredible in that they're 42-inch deep, long, hickory, made out of hickory.
Gorgeous.
And the reason we picked hickory was it has a real nice texture to it and a really nice quality look to match. I forgot that I mentioned our whole home is with hardwood floors.
They're gorgeous, yes.
And the hickory cabinets really match the cabinets. The hickory cabinets match the floor real well. The kitchen appliances are GE profile.
Right.
And we have a work island in there, and it's a very convenient, easy to handle kitchen. It's not overwhelming, it's just the right size.
Right, truly.
And off of the kitchen is our second guest room, which has within it probably the nicest of the 2 guest bedrooms because it has its own private door as a suite that goes into the bath. So you really can completely close off that suite.
Oh, yeah.
Next to that is our laundry room with the washer dryer, but also what's nice there is more of the hickory cabinets for space, and I'll tell you, you can sure use that space.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And also a nice folding area and a fold-down ironing board.
Right.
Once you get out through the kitchen, there is a stairs that go up to a bonus room.
Right.
which is a terrific room in that it has 2 skylights and a window overlooking, again, the 16th tee. And it's an ideal room for either a 4th bedroom or an office.
Right, right.
As you come back down, to your left is the garage.
Yes.
And it's more than every home here at Heritage, I didn't mention, has an attached 2-car garage. And what we did, we found there was a little extra space available, so we made it into a 2.5-car garage.
Right.
We have the main door and then a smaller door where you can put in your golf cart. So it's just right for that type of thing.
Absolutely. Chuck, I'm embarrassed to say we've run out of time, but it's a great opportunity
Really?
to highlight. We sure have a great opportunity to highlight that folks can come out and see it to today's open house from 1 to 4, or to give you a call if they want to come visit Heritage Plantation or see homes up and down the Strand. What's the best way for a viewer to get in touch with you?
They can reach me on my cell at 843-240-9882. And I'm on site here at Heritage with 7 other agents at our beautiful low country office right on the right side as you come in the gate.
Right. Fantastic. Thanks again for being with us and for
You're
letting us
welcome.
into your beautiful home today.
Thank you, Greg.
Very definitely. Stay tuned to more Carolina Real Estate with Chiara Rizzo-Hansen coming up next. Welcome back to Carolina Real Estate. Today we're at 300 Muirfield Drive in Heritage Plantation in Pawleys Island. And we're visiting with Chiara Rizzo-Hansen, a local interior designer. Hello, Chiara.
Hello, hello, how are you?
Great being with you. And what about that virtual tour Chuck just
know,
gave us? Isn't this home beautiful?
Beautiful.
It is.
It really is.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And of course, coming down to Heritage Plantation today, have you been down here before?
Yes, yes.
It is stunning.
Yeah.
He talked about the 511 home sites and the great community area. I mean, it really is a great area.
It is gorgeous.
A lot going on. Well, let's get right into it. We only got about 8 minutes. If a viewer is, trying to choose an interior designer, what are some of the things that someone should do to actually do first before they decide what kind of interior designer they'd want or who they'd want?
Well, interview a couple of them, 2 or 3, I would say, and see who you feel more comfortable with.
Okay.
Who responds better or who listens to you better, and also experience-wise, check their references. But most of all, it's important that you feel comfortable with them, and so they, you create a rapport.
Right. Some of those typical questions that you get when someone's sitting down with you to interview you, are there some things that really stand out in your mind? Some of the first questions that you get typally when people are interviewing you versus another local interior designer?
Yes. Well, first of all, they ask me where I'm from, and because they hear the accent. But mostly they're concerned about spending their money and in the right, in the right places of the home. And but also they also ask me if I'm one of those people that want to get rid of everything, or they can use some of the things that are important to them, which I think is very important.
And your typical answer to that would be yes, you can.
Yes, of course. We cannot use maybe everything, but I will try to use and place as much as I can.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Well, as we think about getting organized in terms of what we wish, before we actually meet with you, what are some of the things that we should do to get organized?
Okay, it's very important to set up a budget. A lot of designers like to have a budget, so we are not going to, blow your budget.
Right, you go crazy,
So it helps me particularly when a family said, this is how much we need to spend or we can spend. And I always suggest, for example, to spend it in the most important places of the home, like your living room, your kitchen, your master bedroom, the places where you live the most, but also the places where your friends and family can visit the most.
Right.
And then in the guest room and everything else, you can still, do nice things, but without spending a whole lot of money. So
right.
That is very important.
Absolutely.
To me.
So typically the master bedroom, this center, the great room, the kitchen, a lot of people will allocate budgets to those 3 big rooms, even though, there's so many rooms within a home. It's tough to decide, but truly the areas you spend the most time.
Yes, those are the most important to set up, especially when you first move into the home.
Right.
The areas where you live the most to make it feel homey, and
Right.
sometimes a new house could be feeling cold or not extremely comfortable.
Absolutely. Well, Chiara, let's say someone is planning to sell their home. Staging is a phrase we hear, or a word we hear often about how to properly stage your home to get it
Yes.
sold. What are some of the things that you typically would guide one of your clients if they were looking to stage their home for sale?
Well, I would suggest to depersonalize the home, take some pictures, some family pictures and some things, and put them away. Declutter the home, because a new person that come to visit a home, try to kind of imagine their things in it, their furniture, their accessories. So if you have a home full of stuff, it's harder for a person to visualize what this house is going to look like with their furniture.
Right.
So I think that's very important. And also keep a neutral palette on the wall if you're getting ready to put your home on sale and you have different room in different colors. I would suggest to choose a palette that it's pretty much consistent in all the rooms,
Okay.
to make it feel more airy, more spacious.
Wow, that's an interesting point. So if rooms are painted in different colors, you may actually take the time to encourage someone to
Yes.
possibly repaint
Yes.
with a more neutral color.
Exactly. And also an interior designer could come in and suggest, or a stager, and suggest the placing of the furniture, because sometimes a room can look much bigger if the
Right.
furniture are placed in a different way.
Wow, that is fascinating. So surely a decluttering or depersonalizing as much as possible.
Yes.
So if we've got pictures of our kids spread out all over, possibly putting those aside if we
Yes.
really want to sell our home.
Exactly.
That's very important. That's very important. Well, let's say we actually go through that process. We've hired you. We've gone through and gotten our home staged. It is now sold, and we've determined the next home that we want to move into, or we're in the process of moving to another home. What are some of the things that we should do after we sell our home? Some of the steps that we should take prior to moving into the new home?
Well, if you have time to have some time to lapse and to organize yourself, well, if the home doesn't have any window treatment, any blinds or anything of the kind,
Right.
set aside a budget to try to get those done before you move in,
Okay.
as well as any painting.
Right.
Think about some placement of the furniture. If you have a designer, of course, you will ask her or him, and they will help you with the placement of the furniture. But the necessary things are, I believe, a painting and having window treatment, not necessarily drapes, but blinds or shutters or whatever it is to give you privacy.
Right.
And just think about the most important pieces that you're going to move in and how to set those.
Okay. Well, that's critical. Golly, obviously trying to lay all that out can be very difficult for
Yes.
folks as they're going through the mindset of A, we got to sell our home, and then B, we've got to prepare for a new home. That could be overwhelming at times. You probably have some clients who just want to turn everything over to you.
Well, yes, but I also suggest to a lot of people to put in boxes what they want to bring in the home and they want to display, and boxes of less important things that they can leave behind, or they can leave in boxes and not necessarily used, because some people are downsizing.
Right.
And so you won't have as much wall space maybe that in the previous home. And that is very important, because then when the interior designer come along, she knows that these are the items that you want to utilize in your home.
Right.
And these are the items that are not important, so she can work with those.
That's critical. That's critical. Chiara, you did say one of your most frequently asked questions is where you're from, where the accent comes from. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about your background?
Yes, I was born and raised in Padova, Italy.
Uh-huh.
And I have studied at the Academy of Art in Venice, and I moved here when I was 25.
Is that right? And interior design is a deep to the core, a passion of yours.
Yes, although I did have to, kind of start over when I moved here, but yeah, that's what I'm from.
We can tell you're very passionate about it. If a viewer wants to get in touch with you to learn more about your interior design work, or just staging in general, for instance, if they want to sell their home, or I understand you do some commercial work as well, what's
Yes.
the best way for a viewer to get in touch with you?
Well, they can call me at 843-446-2832,
Okay.
or they can email me at ritzdesign@aol.com,
Okay.
or at
Oh, absolutely. Folks could go online to carolinaweekly.com or to
Yes.
businessoftheweek.com. There's a great profile on you and your recent winning a local interior design of the year, which was fantastic.
Thanks.
Congratulations again. Stay tuned to more Carolina Real Estate coming up next. Welcome back to Carolina Real Estate. We want to thank Dana and Chuck Larson for opening up their beautiful home here at Heritage Plantation for us to film today. Come on out for today's open house from 1 to 4, 300 Muirfield Drive. We also want to thank Chiara Rizzo-Hansen and all of her fantastic interior design tips. To learn more about her or her business, check her out at businessoftheweek.com or interiordesigneroftheyear.com. Today's featured website is Pawleys Island Realestate.com. Check it out. You've got access to all the homes, condos, land, anything you want or could find in the Pawleys Island area is here at PawleysIslandRealestate.com. You can search by keyword, by MLS number, by bedrooms or baths, anything, any way you want, PawleysIslandRealestate.com. And if you're looking for real estate, look for Carolina Real Estate.